Live from Chicago, this is Fox 32 News at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Terrence Lee.
And I'm Sylvia Perez. We are following several breaking news stories at this hour. First, a plane crash in West Chicago, and it looks pretty bad.
Yeah, police on the scene at DuPage Airport. Video you see here shows a small private plane crash into a snowfield near the runway. The FAA says it's a Piper PA-30, which can carry up to 4 people. We don't know yet how many were on board. There's also a police chase on the southwest side. It started as a robbery in Park Ridge. Officers chased the car, which hit a building and a gate in West Lawn. Sky Fox showed police searching the area, even on rooftops. 3 men are in custody right now. Police said the car was stolen yesterday.
And there is growing concern in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood. Federal immigration agents were spotted working in that area.
A woman says agents threatened her while she tried to record what was going on. Leslie Moreno's live there with details on what happened. Leslie?
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, I spoke with a woman who claims she was confronted by a federal agent on Tuesday morning here in the 4600 block of South Francisco Avenue. She says she was recording a man who was being detained in her neighborhood when a federal agent pointed a gun at her. She says the entire ordeal was traumatizing. Here's a video on your screen. Federal agents were seen in the Brighton Park neighborhood Tuesday morning, prompting community members to come outside and record what they say were immigration enforcement operations. One of those neighbors is Viviana Corral, a U.S. citizen who tells me she was filming agents who appeared to be detaining that man in the video. That's when she says an armed federal agent confronted her. Corral says the agent opened a vehicle door and pointed a gun directly at her, warning her to stop recording.
He just opened the door and told me, "You better not do it." And he just pointed his firearm at me. And I went like this because I thought he was gonna actually throw something at me because I couldn't see what it was. It just looked like a metal thing until the guy in the back, he opened the door and pointed his gun at me too. And that's when I seen it was a firearm. And I went to him and I said, "Well, shoot me then. If you want to shoot me, just shoot me. Go ahead."
Were you scared? I mean, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, I was more in shock that they did that to me than being scared. Of course, I'm like, oh my God, he almost shot me. But I was just more in shock that they would even do that to me because I was not touching their door. I was not screaming. I was not doing anything wrong for them to even point it at me.
And we did reach out to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, to see what they have to say about the incident. We are still waiting to hear back. For now, reporting live here in Brighton Park, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Leslie. As immigration raids are ramping up in our area, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino was confronted by Evanston Mayor Daniel Biss this afternoon. Bovino and his federal agents were in the northern suburb conducting more raids. Video shows Mayor Biss walking up to Bovino and a handful of masked immigration agents outside a gas station. The two exchange words.
Violence committed by that shouldn't be here in your community.
I'm unaware of that happening.
Well, that's probably the problem. Maybe you should be aware.
Now, that exchange a little tough to hear, but Bovino telling Biss they are there because of violence in his community, and Biss responding, "I'm unaware." Biss is running for Congress. The two were surrounded by people holding camera phones, and you could hear whistles were being blown by residents to warn of the agent's presence.
A big update in California today. Rick Reiner was in court today for the first time since he was charged with murdering his parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner.
Amalia Roy is live outside the Reiner family home in Brentwood with the very latest on this developing story. Amalia?
Yes, Terrence, Sylvia, it was a quick hearing today. Nick Reiner was expected to enter a plea, but his lawyer asked to push his arraignment back until January 7th. Reiner was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, and yesterday the DA explained that includes something called a special circumstance, and that's because he's accused of multiple murders. So if he's convicted, that could mean life without the possibility of parole or the death penalty. He's still being held without bail. Reiner walked into court wearing handcuffs and a suicide prevention vest today. His lawyer is high-profile defense attorney Alan Alan Jackson, who has represented Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey during their trials. After today's hearing, Jackson spoke to reporters asking for patience in the legal process.
There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed.
We're still working to piece together a clear timeline of events. There are reports of an argument between Rob, Michelle, and Nick Reiner Saturday night during a Christmas party at Conan O'Brien's house. We know police were called to the house, the Reiner house, around 3:30 p.m. local time Sunday afternoon. Reiner was seen walking by a gas station near his parents' house before midnight Saturday. And we now have new surveillance video from Sunday night. Here, you can see him walking in and out of this gas station twice before buying a drink, then walking back out towards the street. This is shortly before police arrested Reiner around 9 p.m., around 15 miles from his parents' house. And the Reiner family has released a statement today saying, in part, words cannot even begin to describe the unimaginable pain we are experiencing every moment of the day. This horrific and devastating loss of our parents, Rob and Michelle Reiner, is something that no one should ever experience. They also ask for privacy during this time, and also goes on to thank everyone for their kindness. In Los Angeles, Amalia Roy, Fox 32 Chicago.
All right, Amalia, thank you. Like I told you, a lot going on today, so let's all just take a collective breather and look at this beautiful sunset here, some marigolds, some apricot. I see some champagne there as well. Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls, what colors are you seeing there before you give us that first check of the forecast?
Can I say tangerine? Does that count?
I will accept it. I would have accepted tangerine or citrine.
Parents, I've been going home and studying my coloring pencils and crayons colors, just trying to get this right every day. All right, let's get a check of your temperatures out there right now. It felt really, really nice compared to where we have been. Temperatures today, we topped out in the low 40s for a lot of us. For those of you in the far outlying areas, that's where we were held in the 30s today. But currently, it's still pretty nice. 41 at O'Hare. It's 40 at Midway, 39 at the Chicago Lakefront, 36 degrees currently in Waukegan. It's 35 in Aurora and 38 in Valparaiso, 41 still in Merrillville. Your evening planner, temperatures are going to be dropping down into the 30s. Skies are going to be partly cloudy. Eventually tonight, we're going to see increasing clouds and some rain. That's going to be arriving mainly after midnight, but most of that's going to be falling tomorrow morning. Forecast low temperatures tonight. A lot of us are going to be dropping down to the low to mid 30s. And then tomorrow looks like a very warm day, but we do have a cold front moving through that's going to send us back into the 20s by Friday. The weekend ahead, though, looks pretty good for that Bears game. Those details coming up.
All right, thank you, Emily. The so-called alternative budget is now gaining steam in Chicago City Council. Members are meeting right now as it looks to clear another hurdle.
But the big question, will Mayor Johnson sign on? Political reporter Paris Schutz is here. He's on Budget Watch and has the latest. Paris?
Budget Watch, it's a daily occurrence now, Sylvia and Terrence. Well, this alternative budget proposal is poised to pass another hurdle today. It cleared the City Council's Finance Committee yesterday, and it is being debated in the Budget Committee right now as we speak. If it passes this test, then it's up to the full City Council later this week to approve it. But Mayor Johnson has been adamantly opposed, despite some big changes here. So gone are the proposed garbage collection fee hike, but in is a $90 million plan to sell debt that people owe to the city and legalization of video gaming terminals in restaurants and bars. The plan faced some heated debate in council. It's going on right now. In fact, it just began. It could be going on the rest of the evening. Both sides accusing each other of having faulty math.
This budget team's credibility's fallen off a cliff in the last week. And so we want to make sure that responsible financial experts get a chance to check their math because the data has been hidden from this council as long as it has. It really doesn't show any good faith here.
So the mayor's budget team went over their interpretation of the alternate budget. They said they have scoured it up all night, looking over the numbers, and they say it just doesn't add up. It's not going to solve that budget deficit. Clearly, you heard Alderman Riley there disagreeing. The mayor's called it a, quote, secret budget, although he's had meetings all day today with these alders. The question is, Will he sign on, or will alders get to 34 votes for this budget eventually that could override a mayoral veto? Right now it is going in that direction, and there should be a vote in the Budget Committee later this evening. As we mentioned, the mayor's budget team just finished giving their presentation here. You're looking at some of the slides that they proposed here. Augmented reality advertising, I'm still trying to figure out what exactly that means. But we're going to dig into this all throughout the day and tonight on the Chicago Report. And if it does pass, then could have a city budget and avoid a government shutdown by the end of the week.
And keep us updated on the augmented reality part of it, too.
Augmented reality seems like something we all experience at some point, but I don't know how you tax that.
Yeah. All right, Paris, thank you. We want to talk more about this alternative budget. In particular, one line item. Paris talked about this yesterday that will surely impact a lot of you.
And Brett Bagansky is live in Rogers Park with more on that part of the story. Hey, Brett.
Hey, Sylvia. So we're talking about paying a higher bag tax. If you've been following this for the last few years, this started as paying 7 cents a bag. Then this year, it went up to 10 cents. And if some of those alders have their way, if this ends up passing in this new alternative budget plan, you could be paying 15 cents a bag. So since this all began in 2017, the city has generated tens of millions of dollars. And you may remember when this all began, some supporters had said this was all about being more environmentally friendly by persuading people to use reusable bags and cutting down on waste. However, opponents have said this is just designed to generate tax revenue, designed as an environmentally friendly measure. And so earlier today, we've seen customers here at Devon Market choose plastic bags while others bring their own reusable bags to avoid that tax. So some have been watching this budget battle closely, and I know there's a lot of changes out there, but they really just want to see how this is going to impact them.
I'm retired, especially when you're on a limited income. It's hard. It's hard. If you was at my refrigerator is bare now because of the cost of this, Part B and different things like that. It makes no sense.
My opinion is they're going to tax us on something no matter what. It's either gas, food, and a nickel on the plastic bags. Everybody's gotten used to it. They're starting to use their own bags. So I guess it's the lesser of two evils.
So a lot of people skeptical about everything happening here. So that was that alternative plan from those alders. This was all about avoiding a corporate head tax, which they argue is a job killer here in Chicago. Now, anybody from Mayor Johnson and the alder who support him, they argue that something like this bag tax is nothing but a regressive tax that is really just about balancing the budget in Chicago on the backs of low and middle income families. We're live in Rogers Park tonight. Brett Bagansky, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Brad. Well, vote by mail applications are now open for next year's general primary election. You can apply online for your ballot beginning today. The website is chicagoelections.gov. The Illinois primary election is March 17th. President Trump is scheduled to address the nation this evening. A preview just ahead.
And some Republicans are backing Democrats on a health care plan. Others are working on their own solution. We'll have the latest from Capitol Hill.
A mother is searching for answers after her son was killed in a crash involving an undocumented immigrant. She wants to know why no one is in custody.
And Oswego is honoring a 2-year-old boy with a new ordinance to protect restaurant diners.
Welcome back. It's 4:15. Brown University is defending its response to that deadly school shooting on campus over the weekend. The university activated its alert system 17 minutes after the first shots were fired. That includes text messages, emails, and calls. The university's president was questioned on why campus sirens were not activated. She said it's because the school didn't want students rushing into the site of the shooting. 2 students were killed, 9 others injured. Although several video images have been released, the suspect has not been captured.
Time is almost up. Congress is trying to pass a law to keep health insurance premiums from spiking for millions of you in a few weeks.
Some Republicans are now working with Democrats to push for an extension of the Affordable Care Act credits. Connor Hansen has the latest.
4 House Republicans are now teaming up with Democrats in a stunning break from party leadership on health care. They have signed onto a discharge petition that will force a vote on a 3-year extension to COVID-era Obamacare subsidies. GOP lawmakers from competitive districts in New York and Pennsylvania say it's better than doing nothing.
Ultimately, the failure to bring a vote left us with little choice.
House Republicans have been moving forward with a plan that doesn't include an extension. Instead, it aims to expand insurance options for small businesses and people who are self-employed.
Still a lot of work to do here, but our goal is a long-term solution, not just rubber stamping a broken program.
Democrats say that's a non-starter, arguing they shouldn't leave the Capitol until they pass an extension.
This toxic piece of legislation that will rip health care away from an additional 4 million people and jam junk health insurance plans down the throats of the American people.
Even with those Republicans signing on, the Democrat-led effort in the House likely won't get a vote until after the January 1st deadline. It would then have to clear the Republican-led Senate. In New York, Connor Hansen, Fox 32, Chicago.
Illinois just bought people more time to lock in health coverage. If you buy your own plan, this deadline shift could save you money and stress. State leaders extended open enrollment for plans that start January 1st. So you now have until December 31st to sign up. Wait longer and coverage starts February 1st if you enroll by January 15th. This matters because federal subsidies will be ending soon and many monthly costs could jump. The extra time helps people compare plans and get free help before rates change.
President Trump will deliver an address to the nation tonight as the administration is hoping to end the year on firmer footing. The White House isn't divulging much about this speech, but we expect a range of topics from health care to the economy and foreign policy.
All that he's done to bring our country back to greatness and all he continues to plan to do to continue delivering for the American people over the next 3 years.
You can watch the president's address right here on Fox 32 Chicago and on our Fox Local app. That begins at 8 tonight.
In Elgin, a gas leak was reported at a business on Tollgate Road near Executive Drive. Chemtech Plastics is registered at this address. The Elgin Fire Department is on the scene along with Nicor Gas.
All right, let's take you back outside as we get another check of our forecast. I mean, really.
It's pretty.
What do they say? It could be worse.
It could be. And look at the water reflection with the city skyline. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful. And we're seeing less ice out there today than what we had yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you all noticed.
I noticed a lot more melting, too.
Yes, lots of melting. But I did notice, too, there's a lot more ice patches on the sidewalks where that snow was melting in the morning. My daughter and I, we came real close.
Walk like a penguin.
Yeah, we were walking like penguins to school today. All right, temperatures out there today. We are sitting in the 30s and 40s, 35 degrees in Aurora, 41 at O'Hare, 39 at the Chicago Lakefront, 41 in Gary. It's 38 in Valparaiso, 36 in Kankakee, and 37 degrees in Morris. Here's where we're headed. So throughout the next few hours, we're going to see increasing cloud cover throughout the evening. That's going to continue through the overnight. Temperatures by about 9, 10 p.m. or so. For a lot of us, going to be in the low to mid 30s, and that's basically going to be your low temperature for the night, because then after that, temperatures begin to rise. So we're going to be in the 40s by the time the sun's coming up tomorrow, but we're going to be cloudy. We'll have scattered rain showers around in the morning, and then we have widespread rain that's going to be arriving by mid to late morning. That's coming through fairly quickly. Brief heavy downpours certainly going to be possible, but temperatures tomorrow, despite the rain, It's going to be really nice. We're counting on highs that are going to be in the upper 40s before the colder air begins to wrap in following the cold front. And then notice going into the afternoon, we start to see those temperatures taking a nosedive, and we're going to be cold enough for scattered snow showers by the end of the day. Temperatures by about 6, 7 p.m. are already beginning to drop into the upper 20s to low 30s tomorrow. So it's a very short, big warm up for us. And then the temperatures are going to drop pretty quickly Thursday afternoon into the evening hours. For tonight, 35 degrees, very gusty. Your 5-day forecast tomorrow, 48 degrees. We're at 27 for your high on Friday. Then Saturday, things look good. Bears game, of course, is taking place Saturday evening. Temperatures by kickoff likely going to be in the mid 30s. So a little bit cool out there, but certainly warmer than the game we had last weekend. Back to you.
All right, Emily, thank you. Windy City Whiteout. Sylvia the Snowhawk. T-Lee clears at 10.
I know, we're
Some
talking
ideas.
about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty creative because it's that time of year again. Chicago is announcing its 4th annual You Name a Snowplow contest.
Yeah, what about Snow Happens?
I like that.
Put on your thinking caps, y'all. Submit your names to the website on your screen, chicagoshovels.org. Submissions will be accepted until January 10th or until 20,000 names are sent in, whichever happens first, okay? The People's Choice round will open in February. Ultimately, 6 names will be chosen to represent each of Chicago's snow districts. And we have an advantage here because we can take our submissions to the first ever winner of the snowplow contest because he works in our web department here at Fox 32 Chicago. So we can get some advice from him.
Do you remember what his was?
I do not.
I don't either.
It was like Mrs. something. Mrs. O'Leary's
plow.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay. Still cute, still stands.
Still to come, a once-in-a-lifetime New Year's Eve celebration. We have all the details.
And the battle for the NFC extends beyond the field. How you can help ring in a victory for the Chicago Bears.
Plus, a heartwarming holiday surprise in Linwood. A junior police officer who recently lost his dad is welcomed back to the department for an unforgettable afternoon.
Have you purchased any dairy-free ice cream lately? You may want to check your freezer. Look at this. A So Delicious Salted Caramel Cluster ice cream is being recalled. Food safety officials say it could have small rocks in it. How'd that get in there? The impacted product has a Best Buy date before August 8th, 2027. It was sold in stores nationwide. You can contact the company for a refund.
Now, as we gear up for Christmas, the Linwood Police Department is making the holiday brighter for one little boy.
Yeah, last year, in the middle of a health battle, he was sworn in as an honorary junior police officer. This season, he is facing a new challenge.
And Casey Cronus is live in Linwood with his story. Casey?
Sylvia and Terrence, at just 8 years old, Kiwan Andrewen has already had dozens of procedures for a rare heart defect. But now his family is facing a new reality after his dad died suddenly ahead of the holiday season. That's why the mayor of Linwood and the police chief here at the village invited Kiwan, his mom, siblings, and cousins to Village Hall, where Santa was waiting today with tons of presents to brighten his spirits. Former NBA players like Bobby Simmons and LaRue Martin also took part. Last year, Kiwan's dream came true when he was sworn in as a junior police officer. Since then, he's formed a bond with members of the department who are now stepping up to lend a hand following the heartbreaking loss of Kiwan's father, Dewan.
One thing about us, when we adopt you as family, you are with us for a lifetime. And so we're going to stay on the journey with Kiwan and his family.
This is a wonderful thing to see the joy on the faces of these young kids, and it's our job to continue to be that inspiration to them.
I truly appreciate them from the bottom of my heart, and I thank them for always being there for our family and helping us through this journey in life that is so unexpected. But I do thank them and appreciate everybody.
And Kiwan is also spreading holiday cheer. Right now, he is out with police officers and firefighters delivering presents to about 20 local families. Reporting live in Linwood, Casey Cronus, Fox 32, Chicago.
All right, Casey, thanks so much. Still to come, the Chicago Fire Department honors the fallen.
And Cook County issues a health advisory just ahead of the holidays.
I'm Tia Ewing. Also next, a young man's life was cut short in a tragic crash. His mother says she believes the driver was an undocumented migrant, and still no one is behind bars.
If you want total health care from a provider you trust,
hi, Blair.
Right in the palm of your hand, if you want soup, sweatpants, and zero in-person contact. If you want wellness wherever, our virtual primary care delivers with great website manner.
No worries.
So choose your doctor from our profiles and enjoy the healthiest online relationship you've ever had. House calls have evolved. Advocate Healthcare.
A grieving mother is demanding answers after a deadly early morning crash on Lakeshore Drive killed her 23-year-old son and his friend.
An undocumented migrant owned that vehicle, and she says he has not been held accountable. Tia investigates.
When you saw that name on that police report,
the first thing came to my mind was, he's a immigrant. He's an immigrant. That's the only thing that came to my mind. I just can't believe my baby not here.
Stephanie Hartley says she wants justice. Her 23-year-old son, Prince Sullivan, was killed in an early morning car crash back on November 23rd.
Just woke up coughing, and I didn't know why. I just couldn't take it. I just got up, and something drove me to 39th, where the accident was. Like, looking at the tires, I felt that was my baby car.
This is video from the scene. Sullivan was out with his high school friend. The 23-year-olds were both killed. Hartley says the driver responsible is an undocumented immigrant who is not being held accountable for his role in the crash.
They told me it was my son, and I asked, can I see him? And they told him it was nothing to see. I couldn't hold my baby. I couldn't do nothing for my baby. I had to take a DNA test to prove that I was his mom.
The NIU graduate was unidentifiable.
so that necklace around your neck is all that you have left of your son?
All I have, and it's still burnt on it.
The crash happened just before 4:30 in the morning on the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive. Police say the Kia Forte was speeding, ran a stop sign, and struck Sullivan's stalled Chevy Malibu with hazard lights on, igniting a fire that claimed the lives of Sullivan and his friend. The registered owner of the Kia is Miguel Angel Navarrete Palacios. He told police he was allegedly a passenger at the time of the crash and that the person behind the wheel was a friend he just met. That person was unconscious on scene and couldn't be questioned. The man was identified by the Cook County medical examiner as Isaias Rodriguez. He was living at a hotel in Burr Ridge. He later died at University of Chicago Medical Center.
He's claiming he wasn't the driver of the vehicle, which I believe he was the driver, and he's trying to put it off on the person that died that was in his vehicle.
Hartley, a single parent of two, says it was hard work providing to make sure her son turned into a success story, not a statistic.
I worked 3 jobs to get my baby through school. 3 jobs.
Sullivan graduated from Northern Illinois University in 2025 with a degree in business management and human resources and had recently begun a career at People's Gas.
He excelled.
Yes, sir. Hold on, pull it down.
Hartley says she believes her son's death may be overlooked because of the driver's alleged immigration status and because her son was a young black man.
Since he's a young black man, they probably think he had no education, no family that cared. They're just going to throw it under the rug and think I'm going to let it go.
We called Palacios, and again, he said the same thing in the police report, that he was a passenger in the vehicle. He told us he's from Ecuador, traveled to Texas, where the governor there, Greg Abbott, bused him to New York, and then he made his way to Chicago.
They're protecting him. And I want justice just in case he tried to leave.
Hartley says she has received little communication from the detective on the case, leaving her frustrated and also grieving.
The detective don't even call, don't even reply back. It hurts because why is he getting a slap on the wrist and my baby's not here?
Again, EMTs with Superior Ambulance witnessed the incident and stated that Palacios' vehicle caused the crash and fire. Palacios is insured through Kemper Insurance, which provides coverage to undocumented drivers. The Department of Homeland Security has been contacted. They haven't gotten back to us, but the Illinois Secretary of State's office did say this: they could not find a driver's license for Palacios. Of course, this is a story we will continue to follow. Terrence?
All right, Tia, thank you. The village of Oswego just approved Finnegan's Law today. It is named after Finnegan McKee. A 2-year-old was killed when a woman crashed her car into a Portillo's on Route 34 back in July. Remember that? The ordinance aims to prevent something like that from happening again by requiring things like bullets or reinforced barriers at vulnerable building entrances and also outdoor public areas. Police say a 50-year-old from Michigan accidentally drove into the restaurant. She was not charged.
A ceremonial bell ringing for a fallen first responder today. The Chicago Fire Department welcomed members of the True Villain family and members of Ambulance 71 today. They had the bell ringing at Engine 81's headquarters, that is, at 104th and Hoxie. It was in honor of the 5-year anniversary of the passing of a paramedic in charge. He was a 20-year veteran. He died of COVID in 2020, and the department is making sure he is never forgotten.
We must never forget our fallen, whether it be from the Chicago Police Department or the Chicago Fire Department. The sacrifice that they endured to protect this city is something we will never forget and continue to honor day in and day out.
True Villain was the 3rd active member of the Chicago Fire Department to die of COVID-19.
With the flu and COVID starting to pick up again, doctors say now is the time to get vaccinated before the holidays make everything worse. Health leaders say they are already seeing more emergency room visits, especially among children, and they warn illness often starts with kids and spreads quickly to adults and seniors when families get together and fewer people are vaccinated.
A lot of times something starts small, but in no time at all, it can really blow up to the point where you might even need to have a hospital admission, and then you're really sick at that point.
And that's the last thing these doctors want. Doctors also flagged a rise in norovirus cases and said hand washing works better than sanitizer for that, and reminded people that free flu and COVID shots and virtual express care visits are available through Cook County Health regardless of insurance or immigration status.
The Bears are facing their NFC North Division rivals off the field tonight in the Salvation Army's annual Red Kettle Challenge. This is all to see which fans can raise the most money for charity. Bears staff will start ringing the bell inside Joel Osco in Lincoln Park in just a few hours. They're going to have 1 hour to fill up their empty bucket with donations. Now, if you aren't able to stop by tonight, you can still donate online at salarmy.us/bears. Let's take a live look outside as we look at Soldier Field, right? Yeah, let's get ready for a little bit more of a warm-up, hopefully, Emily?
Yes, more of a warm-up. Tomorrow is going to be even warmer than what we had today, but tomorrow we are going to be dealing with pretty gusty winds and also some rain around associated with a cold front that's coming through. So tomorrow's temperature is still looking pretty good. But again, it's going to be a little rainy out there. And then we have a really sharp drop off with our temperatures going into Thursday night and early Friday. Forecast low temperatures tonight. We're going to be there in just a few hours. We're looking at low to mid 30s tonight, and then we're going to begin to rise into the 40s early tomorrow morning. But again, it comes with rain. So the best chance of rain on Thursday will be during the morning through the midday hours. After that, we're going to see those precipitation chances dropping off, and any leftover rain showers are going to transition over to snow showers during the evening. Friday, we're looking at sunshine, but only 27 degrees. Saturday for that Bears game, things look good. We're going to be in the upper or the lower 40s, but mid 30s by kickoff. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Emily. Chicago will step into the new year making history.
Yeah, the Windy City is the Central Time Zone host for the Dick Clark's New Year's Rocking Eve Party. I don't know what that voice was. This marks the first time Chicago will be featured on the iconic national broadcast, which has been running since 1972. The event is free with gates along Wacker Drive at the corner of Wells or Lake Street. Those will open at 5 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Gates will close once that event hits capacity. Chance the Rapper will co-host and perform shortly before midnight. So now hopefully your relatives that live on the East Coast or the East Central Time, won't text you and tell it's actually your New Year.
Okay, and I'm looking at this. It says it's going to be the corner of Wells, Lake Street. Oh, okay. I was thinking, are they going to reopen that Lake Street Bridge for this? That's a whole nother story, right? Well, the holiday travel rush kicks off this weekend. We've got a preview of what you can expect.
Plus, Congress tees up looking to address a crisis in youth sports.
Hyundai and Kia are repairing millions of vehicles for free. Does your vehicle qualify?
And America's smallest coins just brought in some big bucks. Come on back.
Need new
All right, on Wall Street today, the major averages fell. The Nasdaq and S&P 500 hit a 3-week low on the back of declines in heavyweight tech stocks on AI and valuation jitters as well, as investors wait a report too on funding obstacles for Oracle's data center plans. Now, shares of Oracle dropped following a report that said the data and software company's largest data center partner will not back a $10 billion deal for Oracle's next facility. There's concerns about Oracle's rising debt and large AI investments. Shares of Warner Brothers Discovery also fell today. The company is now saying no thanks to the hostile takeover offer from Paramount Skydance. Warner Brothers board is urging shareholders to reject the offer and instead back an existing deal with Netflix. Axios reports a firm tied to President Trump's son-in-law, Jared Kushner, backed out of Paramount's bid.
A lawsuit against Hyundai and Kia leading to free anti-theft repairs for millions of vehicle owners. Automakers settled with 35 states, including Illinois, in a case led by Minnesota's Attorney General. It targets vehicles without engine immobilizers after a 2023 report found those vehicles were far more likely to be stolen. About 9 million Hyundai and Kia vehicles from 2011 to 2022 are eligible. Repairs could cost the companies up to $500 million beginning in 2026, with 1 year to get the fix.
Lawmakers are considering the high cost of youth sports and the emotional strains coming with it. At a bipartisan House hearing yesterday, lawmakers explored ways to take on private equity groups gaining too much control over leagues and facilities. So according to a survey commissioned by Project Play, the cost for youth sports is up 46% since 2019, which the average household is spending more than $1,000 on a single child's primary sport.
Parents are told that only year-round travel teams, private coaching, and early specialization will keep their child competitive and maybe even earn them a scholarship.
These private equity firms can drive up prices because they know that parents who can will try and will sacrifice to give their children the best opportunities and a chance to succeed.
Experts emphasize that municipalities can help level the playing field by prioritizing local rec teams when approving permits for games and practices. Lawmakers are also being urged to examine the promises youth organizations make.
President Trump says the price tag for the new White House ballroom may go even higher. The expected cost is now double the initial estimate, sitting in the ballpark of $400 million.
The very last United States pennies ever minted sold at auction for more than $16 million. The record-breaking sale marked the end of 232 years of 1-cent production. Investors fought for the final lot, which featured the historic last ever penny. It sold for $800,000 from an anonymous collector. The auction follows the government's decision to end production of the 1-cent piece last month because of rising manufacturing costs.
2 whole dollars could send you into early retirement. That's because tonight's Powerball jackpot is an estimated $1.25 billion. The cash value would be $572.1 million. That would be the 5th biggest jackpot in Powerball history and the 2nd biggest this year. A new survey reveals that many Americans just want money for Christmas.
Dinero, dinero. Right? According to Talker Research, 1 in 5 say they would prefer having their bills paid this month. A quarter of Gen X say the bill they want paid most is their mortgage. 33% of millennials picked home improvements like new windows or updated bathroom as their dream gift. Experts say this shift reflects a purpose on practical needs.
The holiday travel period officially kicking off in a matter of days. If you'll be leaving town, be patient and get ready to wait.
Why travel experts say you can expect a record number of people on those trains, planes, and automobiles. Before we go, here's a look at your trip home. Toot, toot, beep, beep. Oh.
The U.S. Postal Service says time is running out to ship your holiday mail. The deadline for ground shipping is today. Tomorrow is the deadline to use the Priority Mail service. And Saturday is the last day to use Priority Mail Express. A record number of Americans are expected to travel for the holidays this year. And if you're one of them, experts say start early and get ready to wait.
The holiday travel period officially kicks off in 3 days, running from the 20th to January 1st. Now, AAA is predicting more than 122 of you will travel at least 50 miles from home, a 2.2% increase from last year. It's a trend, they say, that's been accelerating since the end of COVID.
These are the times of year when people want to go out of town, spend time with family and friends. They definitely try to capitalize and maximize the days they have around the holidays.
Most of the holiday travelers will be in cars, but at least 8 million are expected to fly to their destinations. And save a lot if you actually fly on the actual holiday itself. But I know many of you want to be with your people for a little bit longer than that. But just some ideas.
This guy has cornered the market on how to get the best airline ticket prices.
Nice.
Listen, because if the price goes over a certain amount, that's the year I tell family, my presence is your present.
Is your present.
But it hasn't been a problem. You keep going for these really cheap, like, it's crazy.
I'm going to hire you as my little travel agent.
I got you.
I'm so bad at traveling. I just don't do it often enough. So, like, when I'm in an airport, I'm like, oh, geez, am I in the right spot?
Exactly.
I get all worried.
And the clearance and the, all that
I'm
good
going
stuff.
through TSA and I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm going to get in trouble.
It's nerve-wracking
Not that
until
I'm
you get
going
to
to get in
TSA,
trouble, but, like, I just get really nervous.
Anything in the forecast that'll cause some anxiety for us?
No. Okay, so for all of you that maybe got caught up in travel during the Thanksgiving debacle that we had with that storm system moving through, we don't have anything like that on tap for the next week or so anyway. So if you have some travel to do for the holidays, I think things are looking pretty good around our neck of the woods. Your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the 40s for most of us, made it to 37 out in DeKalb, 45 in Aurora, 43 at O'Hare, 45 in Gary, made it to 41 in Valparaiso, 42 in Merrillville, and 39 degrees was the high temperature today in Kankakee. And you'll notice here over the next 12 hours, temperatures are actually going to take a brief little dip here. I think by 7, 8, 9 p.m., that's going to be the time frame that we're setting our overnight low temperatures. And then rising temps are actually expected going into early tomorrow morning. So by the time a lot of us are waking up, the alarms are going off in the morning, temperatures by that point are already going to be in the low 40s. And we're counting on highs in the upper 40s during the afternoon. Now, there is going to be a little bit of a catch here. There's a very strong cold front that's moving through tomorrow. So yes, we are going to be very mild for half the day. But then temperatures are very quickly going to drop off after that cold front moves through. So the later afternoon hours, temperatures are going to begin to plummet. And then Thursday night into Friday, we actually have low temperatures that are going down into the middle teens. So it's going to be kind of a frigid start to our day on Friday. Highs right around 27 degrees for the end of the work week. But then this weekend, we're kind of evening things out again. We're going to be in the 30s and 40s for highs both Saturday and Sunday. And your average for this time of the year is right around 35, 36 degrees. So we're not going to be too far off from that. Satellite and radar, things are quiet for now, but during the overnight, we're expecting increasing cloud cover, and then eventually scattered showers are going to arrive by daybreak. The heavier, more consistent rainfall, that's going to come down after sunrise tomorrow, lasting through about midday. And then after that, just some scattered leftover activity. The bigger weather story tomorrow afternoon is really going to be for falling temperatures. We'll have scattered snow showers being possible Thursday afternoon and evening. And then by Friday, we're in decent shape. It's just going to be cold. We'll wake up in the teens, high temperatures in the 20s. However, we will end up seeing quite a bit of sunshine. Now, looking ahead to Saturday, of course, we have the Bears game. Temperatures looking pretty good. By kickoff, I think we're going to be in the mid-30s. Tonight, 35 degrees for your overnight low. We're going to have gusty winds, gusting as high as about 30 miles per hour. 7-day forecast tomorrow, 48. And then we drop to the 20s on Friday. Saturday and Sunday, dry skies. Temps are going to be in the low 40s for your highs on Saturday. Again, dropping into the 30s for kickoff for the Bears. Sunny skies expected on Sunday. Then Monday and Tuesday were dry, and temperatures begin to warm back up again. We'll be right back.
I'm Cassie Carlson with your Portillo Sports Minute. It always sounds good, and the biggest game of the year for the Bears is on tap Saturday night in primetime right here on Fox as they welcome in the Green Bay Packers for round 2. They're going to see them twice in 3 weeks. They fell short 2 weeks ago in Green Bay just by a touchdown. Now they welcome in the Packers, who lost Micah Parsons with an ACL injury this week. First place in the NFC North at stake.
First place on the line. You said it. Biggest game of the year. And what's notable to me, Cassie, is the energy and excitement that's palpable all across the city. Everybody knows how well this Bears team is playing. What they would love most is to put their fingerprints on this rivalry again, one that they've been on the wrong side of so often. With this much at stake, this should be a fun game Saturday night.
Yeah, Ben Johnson said this week, there doesn't need to be any extra message. Everyone knows what is on the line, and the players are calling for the fans to be loud. They know the chant that they love to scream at Soldier Field. Make sure you catch it in primetime Saturday night at 7:20 right here on Fox 32 Chicago. For Dan Wiederer, I'm Cassie Carlson. We'll send it back to you.
Super Bowl in our future. I keep saying it. Well, trending today, a very special college graduation.
Yeah, the unofficial mascot of Bowling Green State University was honored over the weekend.
A member of this class, your class, was one that settled a question as old as time. Dogs or cats? Well, Bowling Green has turned out to be a cat place, okay?
That cat looks like it has a degree.
And the cat's name is Pudge. Dressed in his cap and gown on the big day, Pudge belongs to the long snapper of the football team, George Carlson, who brought him to practice one day this fall to cheer up a teammate. But Pudge didn't stop there. He became a celebrity on campus and off. As for what's next and what he's going to do next, that's not clear, but he does several merch lines and even has a new bobblehead. His owner actually graduated in the spring and is eligible for the NFL draft.
Awesome.
So maybe Pudge will move to the pros. Sounds like it will be well deserved.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching the news at 4.
Here's Dawn and Scott.
Thank you both. Now at 5, a heartwarming surprise just in time for the holidays. We're live in Linwood, where police are stepping in to help a young boy.
An alternative Chicago budget plan gaining steam tonight. It could mean hiking the plastic bag tax.
Border Patrol Chief Gregory Bovino back in the Chicago area as immigration enforcement appears to be ramping up again. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Dawn Hasbrook.
I'm Scott Sher. We begin tonight with breaking news: a deadly plane crash at the DuPage airport. 2 people on board this small plane. The airport confirming both killed. You could see the Piper PA-30 damaged in the snow just off the runway. The FAA confirming tonight it crashed right after takeoff at the DuPage airport just before 2 p.m. today. The airport has been temporarily closed. We will stay on the story. We'll update you just as soon as we get more information.
Other breaking news: we're following a deadly multi-vehicle crash in Hillside. Police say a driver in their 70s was on Butterfield when they hit a Hillside police car and several other vehicles before crashing at a Walgreens and hitting a pedestrian, killing the person. Police say that person also in their 70s. The driver also hit other cars in the parking lot. Sky Fox was over the scene. You see the aftermath. Several people were injured, some seriously. There were 2 officers in the squad car that was hit. They were taken to the hospital. No word on their condition. Police believe the driver may have had a medical emergency. We are also getting new details tonight in a police chase on the southwest side. It happened just after 11:30 this morning in West Lawn. Sky Fox over the scene near 69th and Kedvale, where we saw officers searching a neighborhood with some of the roofs of homes. Police say they were going after a car used in a robbery earlier today in Park Ridge. An hour after that robbery, officers say they saw the car hit a building and a gate on Kedvale. 3 men were taken into custody. Charges are pending. Police say the car was reported stolen yesterday.
All right, Emily, you were true to your word. Not only did we warm up, gorgeous shot, by the way. It looks
so
like
pretty.
a postcard. Saw a lot of people actually out. We were emerging from our caves to get some fresh air today.
Yeah, it really didn't feel so bad today at all. We had high temperatures topping out in the 40s. Now we're beginning to drop into the 30s, but we're only going to drop for a few more hours, and then temperatures actually begin to rise again. Right now, many of us are sitting in the low to mid 30s, farther away from the city, closer to the lakefront and the Chicago metro. That's where we're seeing upper 30s out there currently. Now, we're going to set our low temperatures likely in the next few hours, and then rising temps are expected going into early tomorrow morning. But also, we're going to cloud things over tonight. We have rain that's going to be arriving in the early morning hours, and it's going to be kind of a rainy start to your day tomorrow. Cold front's going to come through, but temperatures prior to the falling temps during the afternoon are looking very, very warm for tomorrow. We're going to be in the upper 40s, falling into the low 30s by about 6 p.m. or so, and then 20s are going to be here on Friday. I'll have your weekend forecast coming up.
Now to growing concern tonight after federal immigration agents were seen operating in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood.
A woman says she was threatened while trying to document what was happening. Leslie Moreno live with what unfolded in Brighton Park. Leslie.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, we spoke with a woman who claims she was confronted by a federal agent on Tuesday morning here in the 4600 block of South Francisco Avenue in Chicago's Brighton Park neighborhood. She tells me she was recording a man who was being detained when a federal agent pointed a gun at her. She says the entire ordeal was traumatizing. We have that video for you here. Federal officers were seen in the Brighton Park neighborhood Tuesday morning, prompting community members to come outside and record what they say were immigration enforcement operations. One of those neighbors, Viviana Corral, a U.S. citizen, who tells me she was filming agents who appeared to be detaining that man in the video. That's when she says an armed federal agent confronted her. Corral says the agent opened a vehicle door and pointed a gun directly at her, warning her to stop recording.
Just opened the door and told me, "You better not do it." And he just pointed his firearm at me, and I went like this because I thought he was gonna actually throw something at me because I couldn't see what it was. It just looked like a metal thing until the guy in the back, he opened the door and pointed his gun at me too, and that's when I seen it was a firearm, and I went to him and I said, "Well, shoot me then. If you want to shoot me, just shoot me, go ahead."
Were you scared? I mean, what was going through your mind?
Honestly, I was more in shock that they did that to me than being scared. Of course, I'm like, oh my God, he almost shot me. But I was just more in shock that they would even do that to me because I was not touching their door. I was not screaming. I was not doing anything wrong for them to even point it at me.
And we did reach out to DHS, Department of Homeland Security, to see what they have to say about the incident. We are still waiting to hear back. For now, reporting live here in Brighton Park, Leslie Moreno, Fox 32 Chicago.
As immigration raids are ramping up locally again, Border Patrol Chief Greg Bovino was confronted by the mayor in Evanston, Daniel Biss, this afternoon. Bovino and his federal agents were in the northern suburb conducting more raids. Video shows the mayor approaching Bovino and a handful of masked immigration agents outside of a gas station. The two then exchanged words.
Violence committed by those that shouldn't be here in your community.
I'm unaware of that happening.
Well, that's probably the problem. Maybe you should get aware.
Okay, with all that background noise, a little tough to hear what was said. Bovino tells Biss they are there because of violence in his community. Biss responds, "I'm unaware." Later, Bovino would post to X saying in part, perhaps the mayor will see the light as we continue to remove bad people from Evanston. Biss, by the way, is running for Congress.
The so-called alternative budget is gaining steam in Chicago City Council. Members are meeting right now as it looks to clear another hurdle.
Question is, will Mayor Johnson sign on? Political reporter Paris Schutz is on Budget Watch tonight with the latest.
Budget Watch, and it's updating by the hour, by the minute here. There is a meeting going on in the Budget Committee and Council as we speak. This alternative budget proposal is poised to pass this committee as it passed the Finance Committee yesterday. So right now, it would then be up to the full City Council to pass later this week. Mayor Johnson adamantly opposed. Gone in this proposal are a hike in the garbage collection fee, but then in is a $90 million plan to sell debt that people owe to the city, like scofflaws and parking tickets and stuff, and legalization of video gaming terminals in restaurants and bars. The plan has faced some heated debate in council.
This budget team's credibility's fallen off a cliff in the last week, and so we want to make sure that responsible financial experts get a chance to check their math, because the data has been hidden from this council as long as it has. It really doesn't show any good faith here.
So that's Alderman Brendan Riley complaining to the mayor's budget team because the mayor's budget team has presented these slides here saying, in essence, that the alternative proposal just doesn't add up. The math isn't right. And so that is why they are opposing this, and Mayor Johnson has still opposed this despite some closed-door meetings again today. So this debate continues in the Budget Committee, and we expect there to be a vote on it at some point this evening, so we'll keep updating you throughout the day. And then on the Chicago Report tonight at 10, a lot going on.
Clearly. All right, Paris, thank you for that. Well, that alternative plan also includes a price change a lot of people could be feeling.
Brett Bagansky live in Rogers Park. Brett, that proposal is aimed at shoppers across the city.
Yeah, it certainly is. We're talking about paying more for things like plastic bags at the grocery store. If you've been following this for the last few years here in Chicago, it started at 7 cents a bag. Then it went to 10 cents. And if some alders have it their way, starting next year, we could be talking about 15 cents a bag. So since this all began in 2017, it has generated tens of millions of dollars for the city of Chicago. And supporters said back then it was all about cutting down on waste and being more environmentally friendly by persuading people to use reusable bags. However, opponents said it's designed to generate tax revenue disguised as an environmentally friendly measure. So throughout today, we've seen customers here at Devon Market choose plastic bags. Others are bringing their own reusable bags to avoid that tax. And some are really been watching this budget battle closely to see how this is all going to impact them.
Money grab. They don't care about the environment. I mean, look at, you got big garbage trucks, large snow plows. Do they really care about the environment?
No. No, because it's hard as it is. And it's just shame you shouldn't have the paper bags.
Certainly some people are skeptical and hurting even in this economy right now. But from that alternative plan from the alders, they said this is all about avoiding that corporate head tax that a lot of people have been talking about. But you've heard some supporters from Mayor Brandon Johnson say that something like a bag tax, increasing that bag tax, is nothing more than a regressive tax where you're simply balancing the city budget on the backs of low and middle income families. We're live at Rogers Park tonight. Brett Bagansky, Fox 32 Chicago.
Thank you, Brett. President Trump going to address the nation tonight. He is expected to reflect on the first year of his second term and outline plans for next year. The White House has not revealed additional details, but the speech is expected to focus on the economy and expiring Obama subsidies. On foreign policy, Trump has announced a new blockade on Venezuelan oil following attacks on suspected drug boats. You can watch the president's address at 8 tonight right here on Fox Chicago and on Fox Local.
On Capitol Hill, 4 House Republicans are now teaming up with Democrats in a stunning break from party leadership on the topic of health care. Now, they have signed on to a discharge petition that now forces a vote on a 3-year extension to COVID-era Obamacare subsidies. House Republicans have been moving forward with a plan that does not include an extension. Instead, it aims to expand insurance options for small businesses and people who are self-employed. Democrats argue that's a non-starter, that they shouldn't leave the Capitol, they say, until that extension is passed.
Toxic piece of legislation that will rip health care away from an additional 4 million people and jam junk health insurance plans down the throats of the American people.
Now, even with those 4 Republicans we mentioned signing on, the Democrat-led effort in the House likely will not get a vote until after the January 1st deadline. It would then have to clear the Republican-led Senate. Well, you've probably noticed more people around you getting sick, and that's what a Cook County Health Update focused on today.
Terrence Lee joins us now. Terrence, what do doctors say they're most worried about right now?
Low vaccination rates, Dawn and Scott. That was the big concern Cook County health leaders kept coming back to. This is always a time of year when viruses pick up, and doctors say fewer people getting shots just makes that harder to control. So here's how health officials laid it out. Emergency rooms are already getting busier. The first spike is showing up with kids. From there, it moves to families when people start getting together. The flu is a big part of what they're watching right now. This is the window when cases usually climb. December through February is peak. And last year was used as a real-world example of how severe it can get.
Last year,
With respect to flu, we experienced a very severe season in suburban Cook County and nationally, including many, many ICU cases. While back-to-back severe seasons are uncommon, they can happen, particularly when vaccination rates are low.
And they don't want that to happen this year. COVID is still showing up in ER visits too. Neurovirus is also going around. There's no vaccine for that, so hand washing, doctors say, is the best protection there. Flu and COVID shots are available through Cook County Health. They're free regardless of your insurance or your immigration status. Dawn.
Thank you, Terrence. Still ahead on the news at 5. A mom is demanding answers after her son and his friend were killed in a crash on Lakeshore Drive.
And tonight we are asking questions surrounding the undocumented migrant that owned the car but says she wasn't the driver.
And we are live in Rhode Island, where the search for the suspected shooter at Brown University is intensifying. It has been 96 hours and counting, and police are still searching for the suspected gunman who killed 2 students and injured 9 others at Brown University on Saturday.
Kaylee Schuyler joining us live tonight from Providence, Rhode Island. Kaylee, what's the latest there?
Hi, Scott and Dawn. So tonight in a 50-minute news conference, the chief of police says they've found a lot of evidence. That's including DNA evidence that they are hoping can help crack this case. But police say they're being very careful about the details they release because they're still doing witness interviews and they don't want to tamper anyone's memory. We also heard about this new specific person investigators are wanting to talk to. Tonight, Providence Police released this photo of a person that they are interested in talking to. Police are asking for help figuring out who this is so they can speak with them. In a video the FBI released, you can see this person turn a corner and walk directly into the person of interest and then run away.
We have video footage of that determines to us and the detectives that can tell that this person was in the vicinity where the subject of interest was that we wanted that we actually have an interest on. Close enough that we feel that we need to speak with them to find out what because videos don't speak. If you think about it, I wish the video could speak, and then I'll have the answers that we need to, so that we can continue on this investigation.
So maybe this lead is a step in the right direction, as investigators still haven't identified this person of interest. They admit they don't know who this is or where they may be, or they haven't said what may have motivated this attack. Police released this newly enhanced video Tuesday evening. The person of interest is described as a man around 5'8" with the stocky build. He appears to be walking pretty casually in the neighborhoods around the engineering building, and investigators are hoping someone will recognize something about this person. And a lot of people are asking, how could this be the best video police have, especially since Brown University says they have more than 1,200 cameras on campus? But look at this map. The red box is virtually a blind spot with very few cameras in the area, and that's exactly where the shooting happened. Surveillance cameras last caught this person of interest on video at 4:06 Saturday afternoon, just after the shooting, and that's it. Now, tonight here on campus, there are two growing memorials. There's one here just in front of the engineering building, and there are flowers and photos and signs. And one of the signs here reads, "When is enough enough?" In Providence, Rhode Island, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 32 Chicago.
The alleged gunman in Sunday's deadly attack on Bondi Beach is now charged with 59 counts, including murder and terrorism. The 24-year-old suspect appeared in court virtually this morning after waking from a coma in a Sydney hospital. He allegedly opened fire alongside his father, killing 15 people and injuring dozens more at a Hanukkah celebration on the beach. Officials say the attack was likely inspired by ISIS. Police have not questioned him yet, but they are still working to gather evidence.
This is hugely important. Right now, the priority for the police is a successful prosecution for justice for the victim.
The suspect remains in the hospital under heavy police surveillance. The first funerals for victims are also taking place this week under heavy security.
Son of Director Rob Reiner appearing in court this morning. Nick Reiner now charged officially with the murder of his parents inside their L.A. home on Sunday. The judge not allowing any cameras to actually film Nick during the hearing. His attorney asking for the arraignment to be continued to allow them time enough to collect the information needed. It is now set for the 7th of January.
We ask that during this process, you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves.
For now, Reiner's being held without bond. He faces the potential of California's death penalty or life in prison.
The village of Oswego unanimously approving Finnegan's Law today. It's named after Finnegan McKee, the 2-year-old that was killed when a woman crashed her car into the Portillos on Route 34 in July. The ordinance aims to prevent something like that from happening again by requiring things like bollards or reinforced barriers at vulnerable building entrances and outdoor public areas. Police say a 50-year-old woman from Michigan accidentally drove into the restaurant. She was not charged. You can apply to vote by mail in next year's general primary election beginning today. You can visit chicagoelections.gov to apply. Ballots will be mailed out beginning February 5th. It has to be postmarked before or on Election Day on March 17th. The deadline to apply is March 12th at 5 p.m.
So the snow mound in front of my house was like this, and today it's like this.
Yes.
We got some melting going on.
Lots of melting taking place. Temperatures today ended up topping out in the 40s for most areas. And temperatures even at this hour were still very mild. Many of us sitting in the mid to upper 30s. But we're briefly going to dip down into the low to mid 30s here over the next few hours before temperatures begin to rise late tonight into early tomorrow morning. So forecast low temperatures showing that by 9-10 p.m. or so, that's about when we're going to set our overnight low temperatures. Again, low to mid 30s across the region, and then we warm into the 40s during the overnight. By daybreak tomorrow, scattered rain showers are expected. We'll have a push of widespread rain moving through by mid to late morning. That's going to continue through at least midday. Then we begin to dry things out, but notice how temperatures, they begin to drop. So we have a strong cold front that's moving through tomorrow. It's also going to get very gusty. We'll have scattered snow showers by the end of the day. So we're dropping from the 40s down into the teens Thursday night into Friday morning. Friday's going to be cold with a high of 27. Your weekend, though, it looks good for that Bears game on Saturday. High temperatures near 41. Kickoff temps are going to be in the mid 30s. We'll be right back.
The Wisconsin woman who almost killed her classmate in 6th grade will not be fighting the state's attempt to revoke her release privileges.
Morgan Geyser released from a state psychiatric hospital, placed in a group home on GPS monitoring back in the summer. However, last month, police say she cut off that monitor and fled the home. She was arrested 1 day later just outside of Chicago. State health officials have since asked the court to revoke her release privileges, meaning she would go back to that psychiatric hospital. In 2014, she and another girl stabbed a classmate to please the fictional character, Slender Man.
A Southern California woman says her family is devastated after an Amazon delivery driver allegedly stole her cat. Home surveillance video shows the Amazon worker coming to the door and dropping off a package last Thursday, but then he crouches down and picks up the family's Siamese mixed cat, Piper, and walks off. Piper has been with her family for 6 years. She has a microchip but was not wearing a collar at the time she was abducted. Piper's owner says the cat holds deep sentimental value, especially after her husband's passing.
She is a really special cat to us. My husband passed away in an accident, and we got her 2 months prior to that. So she's kind of been a source of comfort, especially for the kids, and she's kind of that lasting connection, you know, to him.
The owner says she's repeatedly contacted Amazon. The company identified the driver as a third-party flex contractor, but has not been able to reach him.
You got this, Waymo! Go, Waymo! Woo! Yeah! Oh, no.
Gotta love a sense of humor. So yeah, a lot of folks invested here in this driverless Waymo, causing chaos at a popular parade in California. It caused quite the traffic jam in its wake. The robo-taxi freezing on a narrow bridge. Confused, apparently, by the massive crowd lined up to watch a boat parade. Traffic backed up for nearly an hour. Unfortunately, by the time the Waymo got moving, the parade was over.
A peculiar gift on the side of the road in California that apparently aimed to lift spirits this holiday season. Police say 29 jars of marijuana were left on the side of the road with a sign reading, "Merry Christmas, free weed, organic and cage-free." The marijuana was confiscated by police, though, blocks away from a high school. Officers say they know some people are calling them the Grinch, but no one knows what's actually in the jars, arguing that marijuana could have been laced.
A father-son duo breaking the Guinness World Record. Who knew there was such a thing? For fastest time to clear a game of Hungry Hungry Hippos. Their time, 5.8 seconds. This was the son's very first record, but Dad is a pro. He holds more Guinness World Records, apparently, than anyone on planet Earth. Still ahead at 5, a young boy battling a heart defect just lost his father.
Now, a local police department is stepping in with a Christmas surprise.
I'm Cassie Carlson. Linebacker DeMarco Jackson went from cut by the Saints to being named NFC Defensive Player of the Week for the Bears. What it means for the linebacker to get his opportunity. And we have the latest on the Bears wide receiver injuries coming up later in sports.
The holiday.
Now at the bottom of the hour, J.P. Morgan Chase opening what it is calling a first-of-its-kind flagship branch here in Chicago.
The Chicago Fire Department remembering a fallen paramedic 5 years after his death.
First, a mother demanding answers tonight after her son died in an overnight crash on Lakeshore Drive.
An undocumented migrant owned the vehicle, and she says he has not been held accountable. Tia Ewing investigates.
When you saw that name on that police report,
the first thing came to my mind was, he's a immigrant. He's an immigrant. That's the only thing that came to my mind. I just can't believe my baby not here.
Stephanie Hartley says she wants justice. Her 23-year-old son, Prince Sullivan, was killed in an early morning car crash back on November 23rd.
I just woke up coughing, and I didn't know why. I just couldn't take it. I just got up, and something drove me to 39th, where the accident was. Like, looking at the tires, I felt that was my baby car.
This is video from the scene. Sullivan was out with his high school friend. The 23-year-olds were both killed. Hartley says the driver responsible is an undocumented immigrant who is not being held accountable for his role in the crash.
They told me it was my son, and I asked, can I see him? And they told him it was nothing to see. I couldn't hold my baby. I couldn't do nothing for my baby. I had to take a DNA test to prove that I was his mom.
The NIU graduate was unidentifiable.
So that necklace around your neck is all that you have left of your son?
All I have, and it's still burnt on it.
The crash happened just before 4:30 in the morning on the 3900 block of South Lakeshore Drive. Police say the Kia Forte was speeding, ran a stop sign, and struck Sullivan's stalled Chevy Malibu with hazard lights on, igniting a fire that claimed the lives of Sullivan and his friend. The registered owner of the Kia is Miguel Angel Navarrete Palacios. He told police he was allegedly a passenger at the time of the crash and that the person behind the wheel was a friend he just met. That person was unconscious on scene and couldn't be questioned. The man was identified by the Cook County medical examiner as Isaias Rodriguez. He was living at a hotel in Burr Ridge. He later died at University of Chicago Medical Center.
He's claiming he wasn't the driver of the vehicle, which I believe he was the driver, and he's trying to put it off on the person that died that was in his vehicle.
Hartley, a single parent of two, says it was hard work providing to make sure her son turned into a success story, not a statistic.
I worked 3 jobs to get my baby through school. 3 jobs.
Sullivan graduated from Northern Illinois University in 2025 with a degree in business management and human resources and had recently begun a career at People's Gas.
He excelled.
Yes, sir. Hold on, pull it down.
Hartley says she believes her son's death may be overlooked because of the driver's alleged immigration status and because her son was a young black man.
Since he's a young black man, they probably think he had no education, no family that cared. They're just going to throw it under the rug and think I'm going to let it go.
We called Palacios, and again, he said the same thing in the police report, that he was a passenger in the vehicle. He told us he's from Ecuador, traveled to Texas, where the governor there, Greg Abbott, bused him to New York, and then he made his way to Chicago.
They're protecting him. And I want justice just in case he tried to leave.
Hartley says she has received little communication from the detective on the case, leaving her frustrated and also grieving.
The detectives don't even call, don't even reply back. It hurts because why is he getting a slap on the wrist and my baby's not here?
EMTs with Superior witnessed the incident and stated that Palacios' vehicle caused the crash and fire. Palacio is insured through Kemper Insurance, which provides coverage to undocumented drivers. Of course, we have reached out to them to get some type of a comment. We're waiting to hear back. The Department of Homeland Security has been contacted. They did get back to us and said that they will get back with us again to give us more details. The Illinois Secretary of State's office says it could not find a driver's license for Palacios. Of course, looking at the totality of this story, still a lot of questions, and we're still working to get some of those answers. Tia Ewing, Fox Chicago.
Thank you, Tia. A ceremonial bell ringing for a fallen first responder today. The Chicago Fire Department welcomed members of the Truvillion family and members of Ambulance 71 today. They had the bell ringing at Engine 81's headquarters at 104th and Hoxie. It was in honor of the 5-year anniversary of the passing of paramedic in charge, Robert Truvillion. He was a 20-year veteran, and he died of COVID in 2020, and the department is making sure he is never forgotten.
We must never forget our fallen, whether it be from the Chicago Police Department or the Chicago Fire Department. The sacrifice that they endured to protect this city is something we will never forget and continue to honor day in and day out.
Truvillion was the 3rd active member of the Chicago Fire Department to die of COVID-19. J.P. Morgan Chase is bringing a multi-million-dollar investment to the Mag Mile.
The new flagship branch, now under construction, will include a financial services floor for high-wealth individuals. That's a first here in Chicago. The nearly 12,000-square-foot space will bring 50 new jobs to the downtown, including licensed bankers and private client advisors for those with well over $1 million in investable assets. It's going up in the 800 block of Michigan Avenue, right across from the iconic water tower.
That location has been vacant post-COVID, and we are so proud to be able to build there, to support Chicago there, and to show that J.P. Morgan Chase has been building in Chicago with Chicago for 160 years, and we are continuing to community build.
New branch set to open next fall. Chase is closing the branch currently in the 600 block of Michigan Avenue, reassigning those employees to other branches.
Let's check our forecast and those warming temps. Here's Chief Meteorologist Emily Walls.
Yeah, temperatures felt pretty good today. A lot of us ended up tapping out in the 40s. Right now, we're beginning to drop back down into the 30s. It's 31 in DeKalb. That's one of our cooler spots. 32 in Kankakee. Same thing in Aurora, but still holding steady at 39 degrees at O'Hare and at Midway. Same thing in Gary. Over the next few hours, that's when we're actually going to set our low temperatures of the night, likely in the low to mid 30s. And then rising temperatures are expected going into early tomorrow morning. So tomorrow morning, we're waking up to temperatures that are going to be in the 40s, but it's coming along with rain. We have a 100% chance of rain for a few hours tomorrow morning. That's going to last through midday. Then notice how the precipitation chances begin to drop off. But also, so do the temperatures. We have a pretty strong cold front that's moving through tomorrow. So soak up those 40s while you can in the morning, because during the afternoon and evening, temperatures are going to drop very quickly. In fact, Thursday night, we're going down into the mid-teens, only rebounding to about 27 degrees, partly cloudy skies on Friday. Saturday, we're going to be partly sunny, 41. And for the Bears kickoff at 7:30, I expect to be in the mid-30s. Back to you.
Thank you, Emily. A very special surprise for a young boy in Linwood.
And that's where we find our Casey Cronus with the preview. That's next.
The Chicago
With Christmas right around the corner, the Linwood Police Department is spreading holiday cheer for a young boy in need.
Last year, during a tough health battle, he was named an honorary junior police officer. This year, he's up against another challenge.
Casey Crone is joining us live from Linwood with details. Casey.
A few months ago, that little boy suddenly lost his father. Now the village of Linwood is stepping up to show him he is not alone. At just 8 years old, Kiwan Andrewen has been through more than most go through in a lifetime. He's fought through dozens of surgeries and procedures for a rare heart defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. But now he's facing a new challenge after his dad, Dewan, died unexpectedly in the fall.
One thing about us, when we adopt you as family, you are with us for a lifetime. And they're great. They come out to everything. They feel very connected. And we want them to know that in spite of the loss, they are loved.
Linwood Mayor Jada Curry and Police Chief Gregory Thomas invited Kiwan, his mom, siblings, and cousins to Village Hall, where Santa was waiting with tons of presents to brighten his spirits.
We've adopted him around here, so he's all of our little brother, our little nephew, so he's always welcome, him and his family. It's our job to continue to be that inspiration to them.
Former NBA players like Bobby Simmons and LaRue Martin also took part in the magic.
It's all about giving. You know, if I was still playing in the NBA, we'll still be with families. We do a lot of giving back, you know, just supporting the communities.
The surprise left him nearly speechless.
What are you most happy about today?
Passing out gifts.
Last year, Kiwan's dream came true when he was sworn in as a junior police officer. Since then, he's formed a bond with members of the department who are now stepping up to lend a hand following the family's heartbreaking loss. Kiwan is also spreading holiday cheer, delivering presents to more than 20 homes as part of the village's annual toy drive.
Them being able to allow him to be a part of everything here, to give out gifts, to even just regular community events to recognize, it just means so much from the bottom of my heart.
The crew returned just a little while ago, today marking the village's 5th annual toy drive. Reporting in Linwood, Casey Cronis, Fox 32, Chicago.
I'm Tina Nguyen. Up next in sports, breaking news on the Bears' plans for a new stadium, why they are now looking beyond Arlington Heights. Plus, fresh off being named NFC Defensive Player of the Week, DeMarco Jackson playing his best football at just the right time, why his impact matters. All that and plenty more next in sports.
It's that time of year to check the forecast. No, just kidding. We're doing that in a second. Chicago's announcing its 4th annual You Name a Snowplow contest.
Yeah, you can submit your names to the website on your screen right here, chicagoshovels.org. You've got until the 10th of January or until 20,000 names have been submitted, whichever comes first. When that phase is over, the Department of Streets and Sanitation will then select 25 finalists. Then, from the 1st of February until Valentine's Day, people have the opportunity to select the top 6, which will then represent one snowplow in each of Chicago's snow districts. Our very own, unassuming, quiet, almost silent Will Hager was a winner in year 1. His submission, Mrs. O'Leary's plow. That was money. Some of the other winners over the past couple years: Snower Whacker, Been There, Plowed That, Salter Payton, and Holy Plow.
Salter Payton's awesome.
It's money.
I think Tina would like that. We'll see sports in a minute. So yeah, we are naming snowplow still, because at least the snow's melting though.
At least.
How about Emily's bump?
You want the snow here, huh? Her bump is not
snow.
melting.
Okay.
Her bump is growing.
Yeah, bump is growing. Everyone's noticing it literally today. They're like, whoa. But yes, back to weather here. I really wish that we were holding on to the snow.
You want it?
You know? Yes. We're going into the Christmas holiday. You know, this is the time of year I think a lot of us kind of want it. But if you're hoping for a white Christmas, everybody, it is not looking like it's your year, because we have very warm conditions as we go into next week. Temperatures going to be above the freezing mark. In fact, some models are even trying to bring the area into the 50s, if not close to 60 for the day on Christmas. So it's going to be something to watch. We're still a ways away from that. Christmas is Thursday of next week. But at this point, I think it's safe to say that it is certainly not going to be cold enough to see any white stuff on the ground there. So I don't think it's going to be a white Christmas for most of us. Your high temperatures today, we ended up topping out in the lower 40s, and tomorrow we're going to be in the upper 40s during the first half of the day. Then temperatures are going to drop off in a really big way. We have a strong cold front coming through. So then Thursday night into Friday, we're going to wake up in the teens, only warm into the 20s, but it's just a one-day cool snap. Notice going into the weekend, we're back up into the 30s and 40s. And typically for this time of the year, your average high is right around 36 degrees. So we're going to be pretty close to that most days. Satellite and radar, things are fine right now. We are under mostly clear to partly cloudy conditions. Tonight, we're going to see increasing cloud cover all out ahead of our cold front that's going to be here tomorrow. So tomorrow morning, when we're getting the day started around 7, 8 o'clock, temperatures by this point should already be in the mid 40s. We'll have scattered rain showers around. Cold front comes through, widespread rain for just a couple hours. Then the wind direction is going to change. We're counting on west-northwesterly winds by the end of the day, gusting as high as about 40 miles per hour. And then scattered snow showers are going to be possible. Little to no accumulation, but with those high winds, any of those snow showers during the evening commute could potentially be leading to some visibility issues. But again, just a dusting for those of us that do end up seeing those snow showers. Most of us, it's just going to be mostly cloudy. And then going into Friday, we get back to seeing some sunshine. Temperatures are looking cold. We're going to be in the 20s for your highs. Now, of course, this weekend is a really big game at Soldier Field. We have the Bears against the Packers. Temperatures by kickoff on Saturday are expected to be in the low 30s, and then we will drop into the upper 20s by the final quarter. For tonight, low to mid 30s for most of us in the next few hours, and then rising temperatures into the 40s by daybreak tomorrow. 48 degrees for your high on Thursday. Friday, partly cloudy, 27. 41 expected on Saturday. Sunday, sunny skies, 31. And then next week, trending above average. We're going to be in the upper 30s and low 40s through at least Wednesday. Tina.
All right, Emily, time now for sports. Packers and Bears square off on Saturday in what's shaping up to be the biggest game yet for Ben Johnson and his team. The Bears out for revenge after a late interception that cost them the first meeting with just 3 weeks left in the regular season. This rematch could go a long way towards deciding the NFC North Division title. Cassie Carlson on how the Bears are preparing this time around.
With first place on the line, yet again, the Bears are dialed into their rematch against the Packers Saturday night in prime time, knowing it's the biggest game of the season.
NFC North on the line, NFC seeding is on the line. We're trying to get our playoff spot. So I mean, it's a lot on the line. But I think really for us, it's just the next game that we need to get to where we need to get to.
This is a must-win for us. I mean, I feel like every game is a must-win, but it's a must-win since we're playing at home. We're playing the Packers.
Linebacker DeMarco Jackson is coming off a big game himself. His performance against the Browns, including his first career sack and interception, earned him NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
Filled with a bunch of emotions, you know, just from, it's been a roller coaster with my journey. from starting with high school to college, all my situations that I came through, and just to finally hear that, it was just something like, just a deep reflection, and just let you know, like, just keep going.
I knew what was inside his heart, in terms of the type of person he was, in terms of the type of worker he was, in terms of how he was going to fit into the locker room. There was no question about that.
It's a credit to Jackson, who was cut by New Orleans, only to be reunited with Dennis Allen in Chicago after training camp.
I always had that confidence in myself and my abilities, but honestly, I just didn't know where it was going to be at. I always thought I was going to be in New Orleans, so to finally come here and just to be a part of this organization, how they took me in and just built my confidence up. Like it was a huge honor, to be here. Yeah.
My last year there in New Orleans, we kind of felt like he was maybe turning a little bit of a corner, and then when they let him go, after training camp, I knew that was a guy that we wanted to try to target to get in here.
And while Packers wide receiver Christian Watson said his goal is to play Saturday night against the Bears, both Rome Odunze and Luther Burden did not practice for Chicago on Wednesday. At Hallis Hall, Cassie Carlson, Fox 32 Sports.
All right, thanks, Cassie. Our coverage of the Bears and Packers began on Saturday with Bears 9:30. Lou Canellis, Anthony Herring, Cassie Carlson, and I will have you covered for 90 minutes leading up to the Fox NFL pregame kickoff between Bears and Packers at 7:20. And stay with us here at Fox Chicago after the game for full reaction and analysis. Meanwhile, the Bears have long searched for a new home, and today Bears president and CEO Kevin Warren announced the team's latest stadium plans in a letter to season ticket holders. Warren wrote, quote, "We have been told directly by state leadership our project will not be a priority in 2026, despite the benefits it will bring to Illinois. Consequently, in addition to Arlington Park, we need to expand our search and critically evaluate opportunities throughout the wider Chicagoland region, including Northwest Indiana." And coming up on Chicago Sports tonight, plenty more from Hallis Hall with Cassie Carlson and Dan Wiederer of The Athletic. Former Bears offensive lineman Steve Edwards on what's impressed him about the current O-line, and how did the Packers get by with a pretty lengthy injury report, including no Micah Parsons. We'll ask Fox 6 Milwaukee's Tim Van Voren. That's at 6 p.m. on the Fox local app, and after the news at 9 p.m. right here on Fox Chicago. Cubs are bringing back reliever Caleb Thielbar on a one-year deal. Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price has declared for the NFL draft. He joins his teammate Jeremiah Love, who declared yesterday. And the Bulls, by the way, hosting the Cavs tonight. They've lost 8 of 9. We're back with more after this final break.
In the sunny Bahamas, Derek Jeter's charity golf tourney got off to a almost disastrous start. Take a look.
I got to ignore y'all right now. I got to put this thing up.
How embarrassing. That's rapper Ja Rule sending his ball right into the crowd. The caption on the post says, in part, Ja Rule almost took me and a bunch of photographers out with his tee shot. The good news, no one was seriously hurt.
That's like me trying to golf.
The crowd reaction there was
they're like, whoa.
Yeah. I heard a crack, and it wasn't from the hit of the golf ball there.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what it would look like if I was golfing. I'm very terrible at it. 7-day forecast for you. Tomorrow, it's actually going to be very, very mild, but also very windy. We'll have winds gusting as high as 40 miles per hour, falling temps during the afternoon, rain in the morning, couple snow showers at night. Friday, we're cold. The weekend looks okay and good for the Bears game.
All right, thanks for joining at 5.
Now you can stream us on your smart TV with Fox Local.
We're on all the streaming platforms.
Family Feud is next. We'll see you back here for the news at 9.
'Tis the season.